AFA is a forest and farm producer organization, or FFPO, of family farmers at regional level, currently with 20 member organizations in 16 countries, with around 13 million small-scale women and men producers engaged in crops, livestock, fisheries, forestry, herding, and pastoralism. We collaborate with regional CSOs and FFPOs, reaching around 30 million family farmers in 12 other countries. Talking about crisis, we face a lot of risks. Foremost are risks associated with the climate and weather. Name a natural disaster? We have it in the region. We rely heavily on the climate and the weather. Thus, our produce and therefore our incomes are affected by sudden and unpredictable changes. We also face risks associated with man-made disasters. In both natural and man-made disasters, they can spell loss of properties, livelihoods, and health, and can force us to be refugees, sometimes in other countries as well. And now we have the COVID-19 pandemic. In Asia Pacific, many of us were harvesting our produce when COVID-19 came, but we cannot bring our products to the market, and the traders and buyers could not get to our farms. Offices, hotels, and restaurants were closed, so there were no demand for food supply in these otherwise ready markets. We were forced to sell low, dump our produce, or donate to more needy families. In the cities, however, food was scarce and more expensive and less accessible. No markets, no buyers, no processing facilities, no storage facilities meant no incomes for family farmers when we should be earning during harvest time to keep us afloat until the next harvest season and to have some capital for the planting season. In the face of multiple risks, we have no choice but to be resilient, pliant as the bamboo, so to speak. And in every crisis lies an opportunity, so our efforts to manage risks are directed to build back better. Some stories on resiliency and building back better. Typhoon Haiyan or Yolanda in the Philippines in November 2013 with 6,000 dead, 1 million homes damaged, 600,000 people displaced, $2.2 billion agriculture loss. A year before that, Pakisama, AFA member in the Philippines, was already doing community organizing processes with a village in Leyte province who were struggling with mining operations in the area. When the typhoon struck, the mining operation stopped. There was also no homes, no food, no work. On the first month, the community organizer facilitated a stress debriefing, a damage assessment, a scenario building, and strategy development. The first 4 months was a clean and fix strategy. With initial 15 women as core group members, they established a 2.5 hectare of communal farm using integrated, diversified organic farming systems with a $1,000 budget from Pakisama and donation from friends. The money was used to buy some farm tools and seeds for the communal as well as for homestead gardens. Knowing that they needed food ASAP, they planted root crops and local vegetables, which after 2 weeks could give them some edible leaves for soup or sauté. The farmers were trained to use the chainsaw as well to do farm planning. The lumber that fell were used to rebuild their houses. After 4 months, the farmers have harvested local vegetables and saved some seeds for replanting. In a span of 4 years, the group expanded from 1 to 2 provinces, from 1 to 9 towns, from 15 to 330 members who are now organized as Islaco, a family farmers cooperative. During COVID-19, Islaco reported a surplus of vegetables which it wanted processed to get better incomes. It is not all rosy during this journey, but the organizing and cooperative development stood out from the dominant relief and emergency assistance in the Haiyan areas. Then, when a dam exploded in the Atapu province south of Laos, AFA facilitated a study visit by FFPO Lao Farmer Network to the area to get some guidance on agri-related disaster response. During COVID-19 times, FFPOs showed their resilience and solidarity work. AFFM Myanmar distributed food packs to about 40 families who were locked down because a farmer there had a virus. It also started a farmer direct selling to affiliated trade unions. Sewa from India made 5 lakhs of face masks and distributed these free to farming families. In Nepal, women farmers enhanced their kitchen gardens. LFN Group from Lao partnered with local government, a logistics company, and traders to bring their products to the market. The all-women cooperative of indigenous community of Dumaga Tremontados named Kagat, organized by partner NTFP-EP. The women belong to 2 FFPOs affiliated with Pakisama and are struggling against a megadam construction that will flood their ancestral lands. The FFPOs have received rice, noodles, and canned goods as COVID-19 relief. The farmers had a bumper harvest, but nowhere to sell, or local traders were buying cheap. With Pakisama facilitating market linkage, Kagat partnered with the Homeowners Association to use its covered basketball court for a weekend farmers market. For 4 weeks in a row, they have been selling about 40 varieties of fresh and affordable fruits, vegetables, and root crops, including their non-timber forest product, brooms and broomsticks. It also partnered with De La Salle Brothers, who bought 600 food packs consisting of assorted vegetables to cook favorite local nutritious dishes of pakbet, sinigang, and laing. Kagat also gave 100 packs to their members who are most vulnerable, those who lost income from the community tourism business due to the lockdown. It also partnered with 2 online vegetable delivery shops catering to middle-class families in Metro Manila. What has been the result so far? They were able to help at least 100 of their members to increase by 25% on average the price of their products, lower by at least 5% the retail price of vegetables, root crops, and fruits sold to the consumers, and contribute to supplying more nutritious food packs to urban poor families. Its capital increased from $250 to $1,600, with net income of $1,340 in a month-long operation. Most importantly, they felt that they were able to expand their contacts and broaden their partners with different sectors and increase solidarity among their own members and with consumers. They face many challenges as a startup cooperative but would like to face them head-on. Primarily, this pandemic made citizens realize again the value of farmers producing local healthy food and governments the value of becoming more and more self-reliant in agri-production. It confirmed our advocacy for shorter and inclusive value and food chains with strong participation of farmers in the governance of these chains, and confirmed our belief that it is with solidarity and cooperation that we can prevent another food and nutrition security crisis. As we discuss the new normal and build back better post-COVID and still with climate change, we are proposing the empowerment of family farmers through our organizations and cooperatives in the work of producing healthy, nutritious foods in shorter food chains and in more inclusive value chains with strong participation of family farmers in the governance of these chains. Let us take this opportunity to call on our governments and development partners to provide sufficient direct financing to FFPOs to upscale our endeavors in raising awareness on COVID-19 and climate change in our communities, acting as local government partners in distribution of emergency food assistance, especially through public procurement, ensuring rights to access and control over natural resources, lands, waters, forests, breeds, seeds, increasing agriculture productivity through agroecological and climate-resilient approaches in farms, fisheries, and forests, as well as ensuring supply of seeds and other production inputs, processing and distribution of food through post-harvest transportation, logistics facilities, as well as access to finance, and strengthening the capacities in policy and program engagement with local government units, and in sharing of experiences to learn from good practices and to capture lessons learned from all these endeavors through an integrated approach of organizing, federating, and capacity building of women, men, and young family farmers through their FFPOs and cooperatives, and in partnership with key stakeholders such as government, CSOs, and development partners. We firmly believe that when family farmers are regarded as frontliners and their FFPOs are seen as key actors in crisis and risk and disaster management, we unleash the potentials of millions of small-scale family farmers to implement the action plans of the UN Decade of Family Farming, which in turn will accelerate the achievement of the SDGs, especially SDG 1, no poverty, and SDG 2, end hunger, promote food security, and sustainable agriculture.
No farmer, no food, no future.
No farmer, no food, no future.
Ke petani.
Hidup petani.
Hamsab AK.
Hamsab AK.
Mabuhay ang pamilya magsasaka.
Mabuhay.
Family farmers.